All right, hello and welcome everyone to another Well Pop Vinyl update here. I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a bit of a collection update, talking about some things I've got on discogs, things I got in Brooklyn, and from this big rummage sale in North New Jersey that had a ton of varied used stuff at a fixed price, so that was a really fun digging experience. And also going to start the video by saying I will be going to Japan soon, so expect a few more videos on that after this. But yeah, sometime in July, going to be going to Japan. It'll be my fourth time going, but only my second time going since I've been into records. So we went 2 years ago. My wife is Japanese. You know, we've got family over there that we want to take the kid to go see. So a great reason to travel. And yeah, last time we went, we were in pretty much just Tokyo. Went to some record stores and had some really, really good finds, despite not really being that educated in how to look for records or having any kind of plan for finding records in Japan. The highlights from that trip were an original Rage Against the Machine Evil Empire and an original Moment of Truth by Gangstar, like both from the same store, even if I'm probably misremembering that, but neither of those records were priced, like they were not wall records. I don't know, perhaps because they were American records, the people who handled the used stuff over there just didn't price them properly. And I didn't realize that either when I bought them. I was just buying based on nostalgia and grabbed those. And then it wasn't until I came back and started logging things on discogs that I figured out, oh my gosh, like these are actually original pressings. So those were great finds. And I want to go into Japan with a lot more intention. So yeah, I'm researching stores to go to. I'm trying to dig deeper into music that I might have a much better shot or maybe can only find in Japan. So that includes like artists that have, you know, portion of their catalog that are like Japanese pressing only, and Japanese artists, right, that are going to have a lot of their first pressings coming out of Japan. So yeah, if you have any advice or thoughts on looking for records in Japan, places to go, I'll be in Tokyo again, and then we're doing a portion of the trip in Osaka. We might touch, you know, Kyoto as well, but it doesn't seem like Kyoto has a ton going on for records, and I don't know if I'll be able to get to those shops. So yeah, any recommendations, please leave them below in the comments. And now let's get on to talking about some records. So here in my hand, this is, let me pull my notes up here. This is Sunday by MKII. And this was the one record that I was looking for when I was in Japan last. This is a 2021 release on the Demo House Records label out of Japan. Failed to find it, despite, you know, asking at least one employee at every shop I went into, because at the time this record was going for probably like $80 or $100, and you couldn't really find many domestic sellers, if any. It was a lot of people in Japan who had them listed or maybe wouldn't ship to the US. So found this one actually just like a week or two ago. It popped up on discogs from someone in the US, and it was only $40. So I grabbed it. See, it's this pink vinyl. It had a later release out of Taiwan on a translucent pink, but so only these two pressings. And according to discogs, this was limited to 283. So super happy to have this. And this is kind of like lo-fi jazzy instrumentals. If you've seen those lo-fi chill beats to study to, like, think that type of thing. So just a fun thing to have on in the house. Also went to Brooklyn, like I said. So I was mostly shopping for my friend who was coming down to the city for his birthday, the same friend who first took me record shopping over a decade ago. And now I'm like obviously into it in a big way. So I decided to bless him with a stack of records and went all over Brooklyn before meeting up with him. But for myself, I came away with this. This is Zahrada by Jaroslav Koran, and I got this at Boom Service. This is a UK pressing or a UK reissue of a pressing or a release that was originally on cassette from 1992, but this was put out last year in 2025. So I'm guessing I probably heard about it either on TikTok or perhaps from Stunty. I've had it on my want list for about 6 months, and it turned up on discogs from a seller called Discono, which I know is one of the owners at Boom Service, or one of the co-owners of Boom Service. So there's a little section at Boom Service in Brooklyn called like Discono Records, and it's mostly newer releases like this or new reissues like this, and mostly electronic stuff. So this is an electronic ambient record. It's really, really pretty. It's also got like a lot of live instrumentation on it, or instrumentation that's been sampled. So definitely recommend this one. It's really cool. Coughing because this is, as always, the second time I'm shooting this video because something always goes wrong the first time, even when I test. So my voice is fatigued. But another find from that trip at Human Head. This is The Glowing Man by Swans from 2016 on Young God Records. So I'm a fan of the newer Swan stuff. I didn't really know the band in their earlier, like, kind of no wave, more industrial, heavy. I mean, this is heavy, obviously, but like that iteration. I haven't gone back to listen to too much of that, but I'm a big fan of like The Seer and To Be Kind and everything moving past that. So this is kind of in that era, and they had this at Human Head, and this is signed by Michael Gira. So I grabbed this, and it wasn't really overpriced or marked up that much for the signature. So that was a cool find. From Bandcamp, Leaving Records put this out in 2026. This is Mijin by Fumitake Tamura. And so a Japanese artist, so perhaps that's why they went to do the kind of folded obi strip here. There's even like Japanese writing on the back. It's like a dual language thing going on here. This is an electronic album with just a little bit of live playing on it. So Sam Gendel features on one track, and Saul Williams contributes vocals to a track as well. It's very minimal and ambient to start, a little bit experimental, but as the record progresses, it kind of picks up and gets a little more just like traditional, like, you know, like micro house or deep house electronic. Really good one. Quite like this one from this year so far. So that came in the mail. Also in the mail here from Instant Classic in Poland, a label that I've probably been following for, I don't know, 8 years or so now. One of the first things I ever bought on Bandcamp was from them, and they don't release that much. But yeah, this is from this year. It's called Nocturnal Consolations, and the artists are Iztok, Koren, and Raphael Roginksi. And they're playing banjos, steel drum, kalimba, harmonium, electric guitar, just lots of different instrumentation to create this like modern folk world type of music. Kind of hard to classify, or at least for me, I'm not really sure how best to classify it with words, but it's a really lovely record, and I'm sure you can still get it on Bandcamp. I'll link to the discogs so you can check it out. But yeah, Instant Classic out of Poland, a very cool label. So in the previous version of this video, where the audio didn't work, I discovered that these that I ordered, I didn't actually get the right thing. So this one is correct. This is Flux by Robert Turman. But then this one is supposed to be Way Down, and instead this is Spirals of Everlasting Change. So I heard about this artist on TikTok for the Way Down record, and I intended to order that. I thought I ordered it, so perhaps the seller sent me the wrong one. So just a little background. So this guy, Robert Turman, is still making music. I don't know a ton about him, but it's really interesting stuff. So the Way Down record is very like industrial, electronic rock. It's from 1987 originally. It was put out on cassette, and then it was reissued by Deus Records in 2010. And so I went to buy that one, which I didn't receive. And with it, as I was trying to like research and learn more about his music, I also ended up buying this one, Flux. This was originally from 1981, also on a cassette, and it was reissued by Spectrum Tools out of Austria in 2012. This record's really different. It's much more minimal and abstract and experimental than The Way Down. And as for this, since I just got these in the mail recently, I actually have no idea what this one sounds like, because it was not one I had listened to. So I will have to check this out and also see about contacting the seller about the mix-up. All right, so one kind of recent acquisition fail. This is meditation music beyond the unsleeping psychopathic mind. So this is one that I got in an email blast off of a label called Hidden Harmony. They're out of Estonia, and I thought I liked it. I ordered it, and I went so far as to even order another record off the label. Here, this one. This is called Whispering Lane by Volodja Brodsky. And just to save on the shipping, since these were coming from Europe, or to kind of make the shipping worthwhile, I should say. And this is just one of those cases where I listened to it on Bandcamp. I thought it was cool. I ordered it, and then I got the record and I put it on, and I was like, "What is this? Like, why did I buy this?" You know, it just didn't sound. It wasn't appealing. Like, I don't know, something about it. I need to listen to it again, give it another chance. But yeah, kind of owned myself on that one. I don't even know how to describe it. This is kind of like, I guess they kind of say it's kind of like free jazz or just free music. It's got vocalists and vocalizations that I don't enjoy. Some of the instrumentation is okay, but it has some very, very off-putting passages, at least to me. And this one, though, I'll probably keep at least for a minute. It's just kind of like a ambient drone electronic record that I don't, yeah, but it's not drone in an unpleasing way. So it's something that I could like put on and read to without getting too distracted. All right, so moving on to this rummage sale. So in Far Hills, New Jersey, which is 45-ish minutes away from us, twice a year there's this fundraiser put on by, I think it's like a local hospital or some kind of like community nursing thing. I honestly don't really know what the charity is. They take donations, they set up all these tents, they sort through all their donations, and so there's like electronics and clothes and jewelry, and every tent has its own thing. And so of course there's a music tent for all the donations they get there. They also mix in like DVDs with the records and the CDs and everything, and also musical instruments. So quite a mix in that tent. It seems like a lot of the people who go there are actually looking for the DVDs, which is funny. I'm sure there must be a huge market for flipping them, because you see the very first people in line have giant blue IKEA bags, and they leave really quickly. They go in, they just shove a bunch of DVDs in, and they walk out, because everything there is a fixed price. So I don't know how the DVDs are priced, but for the records on the first day, the day that I went, every record is $3. That's it. And they decrease the price by $1 every day. So earlier picks pay more, which makes sense. It's kind of like fast paced, or at least, you know, there's a lot of people looking at the records, and so you kind of just got to grab, and there's not really space to like pull things out, and you know, the tent is dark, so you can't really see the runouts and stuff. So you don't really have an opportunity to do a lot of discog sleuthing. You kind of have to go with your gut here, and there's a few that I got off of gut feel, and at least 2 of them are winners. So this one, though, is not, unfortunately. Leroy Lewis, Wizard of the Organ. So I picked this one out simply because, again, you know, $3 is the price, so not very much risk there. But this just struck me as a type of thing that might be a weird private press, you know, RZA sampled it on something, like who knows why, like the type of thing that you would see, like that cover just looks like the type of thing that you would see on some wall at WFMU, and it would be like $300 and you've got no idea why. So I grabbed it purely on the vibes, and it looks like this is just some kind of smooth jazz, yeah, private press thing. Not very valuable. So I have not listened to it yet. I'll check it out, but probably this will be going up on discogs or going into the garbage, depending. A couple vibes, success picks. So Black Mass, Lucifer here. So I had no idea what this was. The style of the logo there, how it's kind of like warped and shifting up, that felt really familiar to me. I was like, why do I know this record, or what's like making me remember this is something? So, you know, $3, I grabbed it. I assumed it might be like maybe a psych record or some kind of metal record, or like, you know, classic heavy rock style thing. It's not. This is like, if you know the album Plantasia. So I just want to get the name right here. Yeah, this is Mort Garson's another project of his, and it's kind of like early Moog electronic. I'm not a big Plantasia fan, and I was not a big fan of this when I put it on. I figured to listen to it to see if I wanted to keep it. This is an original pressing on the Uni label here. From what year is this from? I can't remember if it was from the 70s or not. I don't have the discogs open, but this will probably sell, I imagine. The record itself is in great condition. The jacket's probably about VG. There's some creasing in it that you can't really see because it's this like matte black color, but it's there. So I'll probably list this to get some money for Japan. Another one picked up on Vibes. So you see that cover, you're gonna look a little bit further because, you know, I see all these VC people who are really into like psych and garage and like rock stuff that I don't really find appealing, but I know it has a lot of niche collector value. So I saw this and I was like, this could be something. And then when you check out the back as well, I mean, this is how you'll see what this is. This is Ginger Baker's Air Force. So I picked this up again, just on the cover. The record looked clean enough. It is a promo. It's a white label promo. And this is not psych or prog or anything like that. This is a like a jazz rock fusion. I put it on a little bit. It's like not horrible, but it's definitely not the type of thing that I would listen to or personally care to own. And but yeah, it does look like this has a little bit of collectability. Obviously, the jacket is not in amazing shape, but it still has, the colors are still pretty bold. So, and the record being a white label promo, hopefully someone will be interested in that. I'll probably be throwing this on discogs soon. And then for myself and just our personal collection, some classic stuff. So I got some Simon and Garfunkel. I haven't looked at these that closely to see what pressing they are. I'm not super precious about some of this stuff. I just want to kind of have it around for people to listen to. And likewise, some Cat Stevens. We have a couple of these already, but these might be upgrades in terms of condition. You know, a lot of those that we have are pretty beat. So I haven't done the A/B testing on them yet to see which we want to keep. But again, $3 a record. You know, some of these you see for like always like in record stores for like $5 or $8. So it's not a huge value, but you know, it is what it is. And you're there and you're having fun, you're grabbing stuff. So yeah, that's it. That's the collection update. Invitation open again for anyone who has any ideas on Japan, places to go, what should I be looking for based on what you know I like, right? From other videos, artists that I should be looking into. And I'll be posting more videos probably throughout June and into July, kind of talking about artists that I'm educating myself on and building out my want list, and also going over the record shops that I hope to hit up. So yeah, that's it for this one, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another video. Later.